Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I just wanted to give you a 1 month update on solar panels on the roof and the top questions that I get asked about solar power. Not the top questions you need, that's another video for the top questions you should ask if you should put solar on. That has a lot of things you got to look at, and there's lots of videos out there about that. I live in Canada, and I live in an area that is zero metering. What does that mean? Or net zero metering. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what any of these things mean. Well, actually I do. But basically it boils down to this. If you're going to put solar panels on your roof, you got to have that. That's number one. So, what are the questions that I get asked before we get into how much power? If you look at the board, you can kind of see how much power I produced in a month, because I have exactly 30 days of solar power. 30 days. Rain, cloud, incredible amount of smoke. Today, it's a sunny day. Can't see the sun. There's a lot of smoke out there. So, the first question I get is not the first question I thought I would get. When I tell people, hey, I got solar panels on my roof, you wouldn't believe how great it is. The first question I get is, how much did it cost? How much did you pay? What did it cost? And it's aggressive. Well, I live in a conservative place, so they're pretty aggressive about it. What did it cost? So, I didn't think that would be the first question. I think I'd ask, what's the benefit? But anyways, what did it cost? And it doesn't matter what I say, whether it's $1, $10, $10,000, or $20,000. Everyone's like, oh man, that's just crazy. But it's always, what did it cost? It cost me $8,000. Plus little monthly charge, because I get a better warranty if I finance some of it. Now, that's the number one thing I get. What did it cost? So I tell them $8,000. Well, people are like, that's just crazy. That's too much money. Just hang on a second here. I upgraded my furnace for my house where this is being filmed, which is a natural gas-fired furnace. It cost me $6,100 to upgrade that furnace. And it burns natural gas because, well, it gets cold here. No way the solar panels can supply me with enough energy to heat my home in the wintertime. It just can't be done. I've tried to figure it out. I'm not even going to make a video on it because it can't be done. Unless you got $500,000 for a single family home that's worth $200,000, because that's the only way to do it. So that's the first question I get, how much it costs. So I tell people, and they're shocked, walked away, they don't even care. They're like, you'll never make your money back. Oh, I absolutely will make my money back. It will take me, with current rates, about 8.2 years to make that money back. I save about $1,200 a year by putting the solar on the roof. Remember, I sell it to the grid for what the grid sells it to me, and that's key. The second question I get, which really has nothing to do with solar panels, is how big is the battery? I don't have a battery to put the solar power into. I don't have a Tesla Powerwall. It has to be installed outside where I live. It cannot be installed in your basement. The Powerwall does not work if it gets below minus 20 degrees C, and well, we get months and months of weather below 20 degrees C, especially at night when it's dark. When it's sunny and the solar's making electricity, don't need the battery. At night, need the battery. Nope. Incredibly expensive. There are 3-4 different companies that make these battery packs. They all have to be installed outside. They all are incredibly expensive in Canada. I don't recommend anyone doing that. You will never, ever, ever, ever make your money back unless natural gas goes to $50 a gig. And it's $2.23 a gig currently in Alberta. So the second question I can't even answer because I just say I don't have a battery. So the next question isn't, well, what do you do with your electricity? The next question I get, and this has been a month of this, what does it look like? Is it ugly? Well, first of all, I really don't care if the things are painted neon pink. I just wouldn't care. I didn't install them because they're pretty. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, you don't want them neon green or neon pink or something like that. But, I mean, come on. You know, what do they look like? Nobody that drives by my house knows I have solar. Nobody. You can't see it. You can only see it from the back alley at a certain angle, and you really got to be looking. It's been a month. My neighbors don't know I have solar unless I've told them. And they're like, you have solar panels? Where are they? So that's kind of crazy. The next thing, of course, I've already talked about this. Glitch! Battery went dead. Had to start all over again. The next thing I get is, what's the payback? Real simple. Depends on your power prices. My power prices are currently 10 cents a kilowatt hour. What is a kilowatt hour? Because most people don't know. In fact, most people, when I ask them what they pay on their electricity bill, they have no idea. They just know everything's in one. Oh, it's $3.50 a month. Now you got to look at the electricity bill. My electricity bill is now $0. That's what it'll be. I will have big credits in the summer, and all those credits will get used up in the winter. And through efficiency, made me do a little better. But we have net metering, so I am not allowed to produce more than I use. You know, there's a little variance there, but that's just the way it is. So what's the payback? Right now, 8.2 years. That's my payback, 8.2 years. I tell people that, oh, I wouldn't do that. No way am I doing that. 8 years for payback. I want a 1 year payback. I don't know anyone that makes an investment in something. No one who goes out and makes an investment in something, okay, and expects a 1 year payback. No one. Unless you're in something illegal. So, I think 8 years is fair. If I double my money in an investment every 8 years, I think that's pretty fair. So I put the investment in, I got all my money back. In another 8 years, I'll get all my money back. In another 8 years, I'll get all my money back. In another 8 years, I'll get all my money back. In another 8 years, I'll get all my money back. No, I am not doing that because I've got caught in a loop. Solar panels, the ones I have, will last 30 to 40 years. For sure. 6 kilowatt system, it won't be 6 kilowatts in 30 years, it'll probably be 5. But I guarantee you it'll produce 5 kilowatt hour per hour for 40 years. 30 for sure, probably 40. So I'll be long gone before these solar panels need to be replaced. And nobody talks about that, and you should talk about that. Next thing you know, the next question I get is kind of interesting, and I never thought this would come. Did you install it yourself? I never considered at all installing solar panels for myself. Like put them into the grid and hook them up to the electrical. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not doing that. So I go, nope, Greenlight Power did it, along with my utility provider, NMAX. Simple as that. Next thing that comes up is people go, well, that was just a waste of time. And I'm like, why is that? Well, global warming's a hoax. There's no real global warming. Yes, there is. Evidence everywhere, every day. I'm not going to convince someone who's a climate denier because you've been brainwashed into believing something that's not true. And highly intelligent people that I know with degrees walking around saying that, it just crazy. The next question I get that's common is how does it connect to the grid? Well, it's pretty simple. It goes from the panels to my electrical box. I use the electricity, and then whatever's left over goes out to the grid. And that's why you need a reversing meter, because whatever I sell goes out to the grid and gets used, and when I'm not producing anything, I'm bringing in. So the meter's going up on one side for my usage, and what goes out, I know exactly how much I'm selling. And lately I've been selling about 20 kilowatt hours a month. So I wanted to explain something. So those are the top questions, but I wanted to explain something about watts, kilowatt hours, and gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts. One of my favorite movies. And then you sit in the chair, Tom, how could I do it? 1.21 gigawatts, I'll never. I need a lightning bolt. So what's a gigawatt? They say gigawatts in the movie, but it's really gigawatt. A gigawatt is, right there, 1 billion watts. And I have a 6 kilowatt hour system. So how does that relate? How many years will it take me to make 1 billion watts of electricity? Well, a 6 kilowatt hour system means I will produce 6,000 watts of electricity per hour. That's where you get your kilowatt hours. So when you look at your electricity bill and it says you used 485 kWh, that's what they're talking about. Okay? That's what they're talking about. So my solar panels, I wanted to kind of give you a review because, well, I said I would do it. So I'm going to show you on my phone here right now that and I put it on the board, in 30 days I produced 1 megawatt. That's right, 1 megawatt. Most natural gas fired electrical plants, you can see them all over the place, are 1,000 megawatt plants. That means they produce 1,000 megawatts of electricity in 1 hour. That's pretty good. That can light up a lot of homes, okay? And that's base load electricity, so you need that or the grid doesn't work. So, here we go. Right now, it is today, I'm gonna see if you can see this. Zoom in, and we're gonna try and do this. There we go. So you can see, according to my little graph here, at the time of filming, darn, hate it when that happens. At the time of filming, I've produced 1.09 megawatt hours of electricity. And today I'm not producing a lot. Look at this little graph. It's really not very good. So it's cloudy. My system is currently producing 438 watts. That's 4 100-watt light bulbs that could be up. But in 1 month, I produced 1.09 megawatt hours. So in 1,000 months, I'll produce 1,000 megawatts. What I will produce on my roof, what that plant will do in 1 hour in 1,000 months. And 1,000 months is a long time. Okay? How much CO2 emissions do I save? And also, a really neat thing, it tells me how many trees I've planted. My solar panels in tree form on managed forest. 1 acre of managed forest removes 2.38 tons of CO2 a year, so you know it's the equivalent of planting 12.5 trees. But that's not the point. The point today was top solar questions. So these are the questions that people ask me why I did what I did. And I just want to let you know, solar, if you're in a sunny area, is the way to go. But not in the sense the way the industry wants to promote it. In the sense that it will save you money over time. And it has a value. I sell houses for a living. It absolutely has a value. And especially to the millennials and Zers that are coming up. They value it. And they'll pay for it. And that's just all there is to it. So thank you for tuning in today to my top questions. Hopefully I didn't jumble it around. I got my solar panels up there for 30 days producing 1.09 megawatts. Considering how cloudy and smoky it's been, I'm really surprised it did that much. And it's a wonderful weekend, so get your butt out there if you're in an area that doesn't have a hurricane, a forest fire, flooding. I mean, there got to be somewhere where it's sunny and nice. So have a great day. Thanks a lot for the thumbs and the downs and the cons, and we'll talk to you in the future.